You're watching News Now from Fox. I'm Daytona Everett here. We're going to stay with some California news that was coming out of our sister station in Los Angeles, Fox 11. But we have a very special guest to bring in, Kevin Faulconer. He is known primarily for being the former mayor of San Diego, but now he wants to step into a bigger role. Kevin, thanks for being with us here on News Now from Fox. We're going to talk about a range of different topics, but I want to start first with being a Republican running for governor in California. It's been about 10 years since someone in your party has held a seat. So what are your thoughts there?
Well, I think it's time for a California comeback. And thank you, Daytona, for having me on. And look at both the terms that I've, one is mayor of San Diego, a proud Republican in a majority Democrat city, the second largest city in California. And I believe that if you focus on actually results, that's how I approach the job in San Diego. That's what Californians want right now. The frustration is at a fever pitch right now in terms of the slowness of the vaccine rollout, one of the slowest states in the nation with actually no excuse for it. The fact that our public schools are still not open and that jobs are fleeing to other states. If you're a Democrat, you want change. Republican, you want change. If you're an independent, you want change. Californians are ready.
And just today, the big talker in California, John Cox, is now going to be your competition. What are your thoughts of that? How much harder is that going to make this race for you now having a competitor in your party lines, not just going up against Governor Newsom?
Yeah, look, I think there'll be several folks that'll jump in, but again, nobody with the track record and the experience that I've had as, again, a big city mayor that achieved results. And particularly on the issues that the Californians are going to really care about. The only big city in California, Daytona, where we reduced homelessness, just one example, by double digits the last 2 years, which is in stark contrast to what we're seeing, unfortunately, in virtually every other city in California. In fact, you have an executive, and as I was mayor, I did not defund the police. I increased the budget. We're one of the safest big cities in the country. As I said, I think one of the biggest issues that we are dealing with right now is getting our public schools open, getting our schools open now, not next month, not a year from now, but now. And I say that as a father with two kids in public schools.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a number of issues that California has made national headlines for. I'm curious, you're coming out of San Diego. What are your major agenda items going to be right off the bat if you were to step into that seat as governor?
Well, as I said before, we're going to work together to get us on the other side of COVID-19, to do it safely, to do it transparently, and to do it openly. I think one of the biggest problems that we've seen is Governor Newsom has lost the trust of Californians, with the conflicting rules and changes, opened and closed. We've had businesses in San Diego that have been opened and closed 4 different times. So I'm going to focus on obviously getting us through this safely. I'm going to focus on the issues of homelessness, job creation, education, and to do it in a way that actually gets results and not virtue signaling. We need some results in California, and that's what I was known for as mayor, and I think it's time we had that in the governor's office.
Under a Biden administration, I'm curious, obviously, former President Trump is now under an impeachment trial. How supportive will you be of the former president, and how supportive will you be of this now current president, President Biden?
Look, my job as mayor is I worked with Democrat administrations, Republican administrations, and look, again, it's about focusing on results. And I think the reality is in California, we've had a governor that hasn't given us the results on some of the issues that the Californians care about the most. And, Gavin Newsom wants to make this election all about Donald Trump. It's actually time to get results here in California. And I think that's why you're seeing Californians want that change. They want somebody who knows how to get it done. And I'm a big believer. It's not about partisanship. It's about leadership. And that's what we've been lacking out of the State House in California.
Yeah, I mean, we're located in Phoenix, Arizona, and we're seeing more and more Californians come here every single day. Same with Texas. What's your pitch to Californians to stay there, to stay in the state, that things are going to change?
Well, I talk a lot about that, and unfortunately, you're right. I mean, you name the state of where jobs are fleeing and companies are fleeing. And look, you hear a lot about, some of the big names, HP, Oracle, but I can't tell you how many medium-sized businesses, folks that are looking to leave California because of the anti-business climate and the fact that Newsom and others take these jobs for granted. I won't. It's incredibly important that we have a strong economy, a governor who cares about creating and growing jobs right here in California. So we have a very direct message, which is hang on there. I'm the type of person that rolls up his sleeves, picks up the phone and says, we're going to keep you here in California, not just for the short term, but for the long term.
Speaking of Governor Newsom, there's a major recall effort on the governor. What is going to be your stance on that? Are you going to be focusing on your campaign or also stepping on that initiative as well?
Well, I've been strongly supportive of the recall. And again, I think and you're seeing the momentum. And by the way, this is across the political spectrum here in California. It's Democrats, Independents, Republicans, again, almost that threshold that they've reached of 1.5 million signature. So I believe that the recall is going to qualify here in California. And I'm looking forward to being on that ballot to say, let's give Californians the opportunity to say, yes, I want to change. They want results now. They want somebody who can actually fix the problems and not, as I said before, rhetoric and no solutions.
That recall petition needs 1.5 million by March 17th. Do you think it's going to hit that number?
I do. I really do. And you can feel it. You can feel it out on the streets and out in the neighborhoods. The folks that want that change, who are frustrated, who are proud of our state and all of the unfortunate things that we've just been talking about. It's headed in the right direction. They want a governor that's going to bring people together and say, let's get us back on track. Let's get over this. Let's make our state proud again. And I think we have the ability to do that.
Yeah. There's been a lot of talk about the campaign ads that are now up and running in California. What is your aim and message with your campaign ads? We're a national stream, so a lot of people aren't seeing all of those who don't live in California. Yeah. So I want to know, in your words, what that is.
Well, my effort's going to be very clear. It's going to be about results, and it's going to be about moving California now with a sense of determination and a sense of urgency, as I said, that brings folks together on, not about partisanship, it's about leadership. And so you're going to hear me talk a lot about good quality jobs in California. You're going to hear me talk about opening up our schools. You're going to hear talk about a lot about stopping the fraud that we've seen in our unemployment system, $30 billion in this year alone. It's time to elect somebody who's actually going to get the job done, and I'm looking forward to that message.
And California has been one of those states that has been hit hard by natural disasters as far as, fires go and earthquakes. What are your steps in that? Because before the pandemic, that was the issue. I remember covering that in California every week. It seemed like there was another big fire that was ruining homes and really causing a recession, quite frankly, for the state.
Look, you're right, and it's about being prepared. And in this case, particularly in terms of some of the wildfires in California, it's being prepared and having the foresight in terms of infrastructure with our utility wires and placing them underground. And unfortunately, that hasn't happened. I did a lot of infrastructure investment when I was mayor of San Diego. I understand how important that is. I paved half of our streets in my tenure alone without raising taxes. So it really comes, as I said before, to be able to say, here's the issues that we have. Let's not just talk about them. Let's actually have a solution. And when you do that, you will find that the public supports it. And again, Democrats support those solutions, Republicans, Independents. People want somebody who's going to actually get the job done.
And the big question mark, which they're dealing with on Capitol Hill right now, is budget and the economic relief of this pandemic. What's your stance on that?
Look, I worked real hard, particularly on small business relief. As I said, I just finished up a month ago as mayor of San Diego to provide that relief for hardworking Californians. And one of the things I talked about the most was I was concerned from a business standpoint that we actually had jobs and businesses for people to go back to. And I think that's where we've missed the boat in California with a governor that has continued to have conflicting rules and regulations that change virtually, it seems like, every month in California. It's time to have a governor that's going to say, we're going to create the opportunity for us to protect lives as well as livelihoods. And that's what's been missing in California.
And vaccination sites as well. We saw in your hometown today, San Diego Padres Petco Park is now going to be used as a vaccination site. That's the biggest thing that's on everyone's minds right now. When am I going to get my vaccine? And what would you change about that?
Well, it's great to see so many San Diegans that were out there at Petco Park. And look, we have the same goal, which is to come together and get over this as quickly as possible and to get those vaccines out. Because again, I think one of the unfortunate realities is that our great state of California, one of the most innovative in the entire country, which we're darn proud about that, it was towards the bottom of vaccine rollout. We're better than that. And so we all have the same interest in opening up as many of these sites as possible with one goal. Let's get vaccines to California and let's keep people healthy and safe.
All right, any last thoughts?
No, appreciate the opportunity and looking forward to the road ahead. As I said, I think we're going to have an election this year in California. I think folks are really looking for positive change, and I'm looking forward to be that change.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting conversation right now. A lot of states flipping what they are, Arizona flipping blue. It'll definitely be something to watch with California with this recall effort and people's minds and stances changing a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. And as I said before, Californians really have that spirit that want to get things done. And so I'm really looking forward. That's the same type of spirit and attitude that I had as mayor of San Diego. We're going to bring that. We're going to bring that, as I said, that sense of urgency to the Capitol in Sacramento. And I think people are ready for it.
Okay. All right, Kevin Faulconer, we appreciate you being here with us on News Now from Fox. We'll definitely be in contact as things continue to develop.
And thanks again. Looking forward to coming back.
All right. Well, we appreciate him being here with us. Again, that was Kevin Faulconer, the former San Diego mayor, now running for that big seat of governor in the state of California. Speaking of the governor of California, we have Governor Newsom. We played out just a little bit of that San Diego Petco Park grand reveal. It's going to be their new vaccination site in the parking lot. So we'll play out just the portion of Governor Newsom speaking because we weren't able to show you that before. And then we have another live report coming up in about 15 minutes here out of Los Angeles. This one talking about schools reopening, which you heard from Faulconer there, what his plans are and reopening those schools as quickly as possible, but some school districts are moving a little bit slower than others, including Los Angeles. So a live report from Fox 11's Phil Schuman. We're going to send some of you off to a 2-minute commercial break, and then you'll have a lot more